Greetings and salutations, Charlton66 here once again with another video, and I'm going to go over some little bit hodgepodge of things, some comics, some recent book pickups, and got some fanzines here, so go over a few of that stuff, and want to say thanks again for coming by, checking out my channel, watching this video, and I do appreciate the comments, as I always say, and I do appreciate the subscriptions and people taking the time out of their day to watch the video and to subscribe to it and to just take the time and the few minutes and enjoy the video. Hopefully you're enjoying the video. So onward to a couple of pretty decent books I picked up. Both of these are from Amazon. This one here is called Paperbacks from Hell. It's the twisted history of 70s and 80s horror fiction, it's by Grady Hendrix, and it's just full of illustrations, book covers, history on some of the novels, the artists and writers of the genre, particularly from the 70s and the 80s, which is my wheelhouse on the novels that I collect. It was horror. It is the 70s and the 80s, with the exception of H.P. Lovecraft, which I'll take anything that he's done, and some of the Arkham House stuff predates that, so it's one of those things where he's the exception. But anyway, this Paperbacks from Hell, highly recommended to anyone who enjoys horror, paperback collecting, or just looking at artwork in general of horror novels. Pretty informative. I'm about halfway through it, and it's really good writing. Tells it like it is, and it's really easy to get through. So again, Paperbacks from Hell. And another one I picked up, which is a great title. Blood and Thunder is a magazine about pulps, and it's put out by Ed Hulse. If I'm saying his name right, either Hulse or Hulsey, but it's Blood and Thunder. But they put out a book called Fighting Crime One Dime at a Time, which I think is a great title, about all the pulp heroes of the 30s and 40s. This is great historical stuff in here. Pictures, pulp writers, all sorts of stuff. Of course, they highlight mostly the heroes, obviously. Not to take away from Tarzan, Zorro, and that kind of stuff, but it's heavy on Doc Savage, Spider, the Avenger, and of course the Shadow. But it's a great book on the history of the pulp hero. Again, it's put out by Blood and Thunder. Fighting Crime One Dime at a Time. Excellent stuff, and it's only $25, so it's worth having. And speaking of pulps, I did pick up a couple. This wonderful condition of Weird Tales from September of 1941 has an August Derleth story in it, which he's a H.P. Lovecraft scholar and writes in the vein of H.P. Lovecraft. But this is a very nice copy of this Weird Tales from 41. Picked up that, and actually I have this next pulp that I picked up. It can be in better shape, but I'm happy to have it. It's a major hero pulp character, the Avenger. It could be in a little bit better shape. This is part of the painting. It's nothing wrong with the cover. It's part of the cover art. This is the House of Death, the Avenger. This is from April of 41, I believe. March of 41. And it's one of my first. I have the complete Doc Savage run and the complete Avenger run from Bantam and Warner, but I don't own any of the actual hero pulps because they're either too expensive or the ones that I can afford are really beat to crap. So this one is sort of beat to crap, but it's readable and it doesn't fall apart in my hands when I try and read it. So again, this is the Avenger, and this is the the Warner Paperback Library reprint of that same pulp, The House of Death, The Avenger. Again, I have the complete set of the Avenger paperback books, but the only one pulp that I do have. So that's pretty cool. And one of the things I picked up, I'm not a big fan of Walt Disney characters. I know I hate saying that, but I'm not a big Walt Disney guy. But I did get these Dell Giants because they were really, really high grade for the year, and they're Dell Giants. This is Dell Giant 22. Huey, Dewey, and Louie Back to School. Really high grade. The spine is almost, it's impeccable, really. But for the price, I couldn't pass them up. Dell Giant number 22. And this one's really phenomenal shape as well. Dell Giant 52. Walt Disney's Uncle Donald and his nephews at the Dude Ranch. Really high grade. And again, like I said, at the price, I didn't want to pass these up. Oh, better that way. And right around the corner is Christmas. So here's a nice Walt Disney's Donald Duck Merry Christmas. Dell Giant number 53. Again, really nice shape on this. The spine again are really, really nice. Okay, I don't know how good the camera's going to be, but there's a few dings on it. But as far as it cracking or anything like that, nothing. Same thing with the Dude Ranch. Really nice spines on these. They're not rolled or anything. Usually they separate with these Dell Giants, but it's really nice shape with that nice blue winter sky cover. Really good stuff. As far as the cover goes, I'm not a big fan. I'll probably either trade them or use them as to get something different that I want. And on to some fanzines. Golden Age Greats from Paragon Press. And the Golden Age Collector. I don't know what year this one is from. I know it's from the early 70s. Same thing with the Golden Age Greats from the early 70s. This is from 72. It's a Don Newton cover, and it's dated 1972, so I'm thinking it's 72, 73 time frame. Nice thick fanzine there. A lot of good information. Again, fanzines to me are just like time machines of fandom. Just like our videos here, and I've said it before, it's another level of fandom. 20 years from now, you'd go back, look at videos, and learn what we were doing. It's a snapshot of that time frame. It's the same thing with fanzines. They're highly collectible for that reason, for the information that's in them. And there's tons of work in there by, soon-to-be pros. And they've left their mark on the comics industry, but before that, they were doing stuff in fanzines. This is Comics Crusaders from the late 60s, number 5. It's got a Jim Steranko cover dated 1968. The Comic Crusader. Jim Steranko cover. And here's Comic Crusaders number 10. This is the convention issue. This is the 1970 convention as a Statler Hotel, which has a lot of great con photos in it and spot artwork by Corbin and some other people. Excuse me. This is a convention issue from 1970. And Martin Grime actually did the cover. He did very good aping Gil Kane. Even though we could tell it's not Kane, he did a very good job by getting the poses down and everything else to resemble Gil Kane. But it's Martin L. Grime did this cover. Here's Fandom's Agent, number 7. I don't know what year this is from. I should have wrote this on the back. has to be 67, 68 time frame. It doesn't say. I'm not going to spend time looking for it. Well, Fandom Agent, this is number 7, and I have number 8 here, and this is dated from 69. So this Fandom Agent number 7, I'm figuring 68, 69, depending how often they sent them out. This is a great, I don't know, just some really cool cover by Dick Masso. Never heard of him, but this cover is really nice. Fandom's Agent, such a great title for a fanzine. And this is the Mirthwood Times number 6 from 1973. Written by Jeffrey Jones, later to be Catherine Jeffrey Jones. Did this very dynamic but yet minimalist type of cover. Great Jones cover. This fanzine is the first issue from 1980 called Near Mint. The first issue of that. Dick Bryfor's Frankenstein. Collector's Dream number 3, which has a great cover of second and third tier characters. I love seeing Star-Lord and Icarus on the same cover with Nova, Machine Man. It's called The New Crew. And of course, Omega the Unknown, called Collector's Dream. From talking The New Crew, probably for the mid-70s with the Human Fly, and of course, good Omega the Unknown is on there. Nice cover, nice cover. Collector's Dream number 3. Collector's Dream number 4. The Consumer's Guide to Comic Dealers, in a Bob Overstreet interview. Talk about the difference between dealers there. Collector's Dream. I'm not going to try to pronounce this one, but I don't know what number this is. I usually write them on the back, and this particular time I didn't. Number 2 from 1975. Jim Steranko cover. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm sure someone out there will let me know how to pronounce it. But it's an excellent fanzine. I don't know how many issues most of these fanzines were produced, but I find them when I can, and value is it's very subjective because there's no price guide for fanzines, and I don't know if anyone out there has done research on the rarity of certain fanzines, but obviously certain creators, if they got their first work, their first published work, or in certain fanzines, obviously will have a higher premium. But as far as a price, as a guide, it's I've paid anywhere between $1 all the way up to $100, depending what the fanzine is. So it's subjective. It's what you really want to pay and what you think's fair. This one is a great cover with by Dick Giordano, The Creative Adventure number 2. a nice flat, like a textured, almost like a construction paper type of cover. This is a fanzine called Yesterday, about movies. This is number 3. And this has got an awesome, this is Remember When. Awesome text reader cover. This is the first issue of Remember When. Great text reader cover. And anyone who's familiar with Larry Ivy, big name in fandom and comic books back in the 60s and 70s and part of the 80s. This is his Monsters and Heroes. This is number 4. Combine a lot of stuff in here: movie serials, comic books, mythology, stuff that comic book writers got their influence from, and artists and whatnot in prose, and they kind of combined it into this publication. And here's Larry Ivy's Monsters and Heroes number 5. And on to some comic book magazines that I have. My first exposure to Erie's character, Warren character, the Hunter. This is my first exposure to him, which I think the character is just awesome. He survived the apocalyptic, the last war on Earth, and he roams the Earth fighting vampires and other monsters along with a robot. And they put out a complete Hunter. They did a nice hardbound. This first with all of his appearances in Erie magazine. Erie Presents Hunter. And I liked the character, and I had Jim Calafiore do a commission of at least a nice bust shot of Hunter. But I really like the character. I need to get the rest of his appearances. They're not hard to find, but when you want to find the condition that you want them in, and it's an underrated series, and it's an underrated character, and for what you get out of the character and the value of the book, the value is very, to me, it's low. Luckily for us who want to go on and get them, but it, again, I like the second tier, third tier characters anyway. So on to that. Here's the first appearance of the Rook, another favorite of mine. Time traveling character who travels. Its time machine is the shape of the chess piece, the Rook. Who are not familiar with this character, but it's just full of sci-fi adventure and time travel, which I'm a sucker for anyway. This is his first appearance. This is Erie number 82. And it's cool when he travels back to the Alamo to save his great-grandfather, which is really cool. Erie number 3. Second appearance of the Rook. Erie 95 with the Rook and Vampirella. They're together to battle an alien menace. Menace. Jeez. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, this is Erie number 95. Now here's the first issue of the Rook. He was that popular that he got his own magazine. Awesome Corbin cover from 1979. Rook number 1. I got the whole series, but I would just able to pick up number 1 not too long ago. And I was able to score a copy of Heavy Metal 1 not too long ago. I think as well. Got it for a really good price. Believe it or not, I got this for under $30, which I was very happy with. I'd pay $30 for Heavy Metal number 1 any day in this condition. And I got Haunted Horror number 5. Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction number 1. Awesome Don Newton cover. This is an upgrade from the one that I had earlier. I had another copy of this, and this is an upgrade. I just love that cover. Don Newton, he does no wrong. I mean, he can draw a straight line, and to me, it'd be phenomenal. Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction number 5. I think this has an interview with Larry Niven. Yeah, has an in-depth interview with Larry Niven, and it has an adaptation of All the Myriad Ways. All right, that's what I have for right now. Relatively short video. I'm thinking it's under 25 minutes. Again, I appreciate everyone for viewing and subscribing and taking the time to watch the video. I'm thinking about doing another video at some point about other things that I collect. I know CP Reader did one about his sci-fi books that he collects. I'm thinking about doing the same thing concerning my Gene Autry collection of cat pistols and whatnot. I don't know if anyone would find that of interest or not, but I do have a pretty decent collection of some Gene Autry early cat pistols from the late 30s that are kind of cool. Anyways, just a thought. But again, thanks for everyone for viewing and subscribing. I do appreciate it, and hope everyone had a good weekend, and hope everyone has a good week to come. You guys take care. I'll talk to you guys later.